197, and then heavyweight, Aaron Brooks and Greg Kirkfleet. And Jeff, I feel like this is the easiest part of the preview because it's Aaron Brooks and everybody else, and Greg Kirkfleet and everybody else. At least in the Big Ten, the weight classes here respectively are just not close to either of them. But beginning with Aaron Brooks, I mean, all alone, it's him. Dominated Jackson Smith, right? Major decision. Zach Glazier. Glazier kept it close, though, when they were head-to-head. I like that bout. I like the fight that Glazier had there, but still just a noticeable distance. Same thing with Silas Allred. He hasn't faced Garrett Jones this season. We saw him make quick work of Luke Geog here. But Aaron Brooks, again, if he is something crazy is going on if he doesn't win the Big Ten title here at 197.
Yeah, I mentioned earlier there's no such thing as a lock in wrestling, but
this is close as it gets.
Aaron Brooks he is just such a special wrestler, Zach. He just is a guy that obviously works his tail off, has a lot of natural ability, but his feel for the sport, his sense for knowing when an opponent is going to try to do something, of taking advantage of that just little slight mispositioning, misstep here or there, and boom, he capitalizes. He's just really, really special. And when he's on top of his game, and he's on top of his game right now, he's one of the best in the world, Zach. I mean, he's that type of good. And I just think, again, never guarantee anything in sports, but it is going to take something really spectacular from somebody to even give Aaron Brooks a run here this postseason, let alone actually pull off, what would be an upset of the ages.
So, I mean, the way his path will look, right, he'll probably, most likely, right, nothing's guaranteed here, but if we're trying to make assumptions and projections here, Evan Bates out of Northwestern seems like that most likely quarterfinal opponent, but Ben Venadia out of Purdue could be a likely opponent as well. And then that 4 or 5 seed, I think that's a very close one. I would probably lean Silas Allred as opposed to Garrett Jules, just because I've seen more, Penn State facing Nebraska pretty consistently, and Allred's always been a talented wrestler. So I would lean that. I think that he's going to face Glazier again in a rematch in the championship here. Just because I like the fight that Glazier put up, and he's talented in his own right. Again, there's still a clear distance here, but that's who I'm thinking. Aaron Brooks is just going to mow down the competition, then ultimately face the Iowa counterpart at that 197 championship.
Yeah, Jackson Smith is a funky wrestler. That one will be a fun one to watch, that Smith Glazier. That's a little bit of a contrast of styles in that one, but yeah, it's just hard to imagine, Zach, Aaron Brooks. Yeah. I think Brooks is going to get bonus points into the finals, and then certainly won't be surprised, even if it is Glazier. And Glazier, I think went out with the idea. I'll go back to I think I had mentioned earlier, looking at K-Sack and Lovett. Like, it's one thing to keep it close, relatively close on the scoreboard. It's another to actually go out and knock off a top-ranked guy. And I know Glazier, I do give him credit. I don't think he's as close to Brooks as that score would indicate. And I think they both know it. I think Brooks and Glazier both know the gap that's actually there.